If space isn't fake, why does it look so fake? Whether it's fake images, fake videos, or astronauts faking floating about. Fake, 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 fake!
Oh, you've cracked the code. You have single-handedly disproven the work of NASA, the ESA and JAXA, and every other space agency worldwide. I bet you also think that the Earth is flat and the moon landings were, well, you know.
Fake, 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 fake!
Wow, Neil Armstrong. Hey, wait a minute. You're supposed to be on the moon.
You see, calling it fake because it doesn't look like your everyday experience is like saying a microwave is fake because you don't see an open flame. You're judging a highly specialised, technologically advanced endeavour based on what? Your gut feeling? It's fake because it looks fake isn't proving or disproving anything, is it? That's just your opinion.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald
Please subscribe.
So here's what I'm proposing to NASA or any other space agency from around the world. If space isn't fake, take us with you on a reality TV style documentary.
Yeah, this is what his videos look like. It's almost as if he doesn't want the people who know him to recognise him, and I can't imagine why. We kind of have been doing that, just not in the way you're imagining. There are countless documentaries, live streams and educational videos from space. Astronauts regularly share their experiences and answer questions from the public. And none of you believe any of what's already out there, so why would you suddenly start to believe it now? If by some miracle NASA or any of the other space agencies were to agree to do it.
Call it Meet the Astronauts. I don't know, the title's not important right now. What is important is the concept.
Even if it's a really stupid concept, a concept that has already been done many, many times, just have a look at this URL. And you can't say they're fake because they're from NASA, because you're asking NASA to do it. Well, they already have, pal. Multiple times.
I want to see an unprecedented, behind-the-scenes, fly-on-the-wall documentary series of a year in the life of a group of astronauts.
Unprecedented, yeah. Practical, no, not a chance. Think year-long, incredibly expensive, logistically impossible, and potentially life-threatening home movie. Astronauts train for years and it's not to be reality TV stars. We've already got tons of footage from space. It's just, you know, actual science and exploration, not staged reality TV.
You've all seen the sports documentaries, All or Nothing, yeah? Where we get to see how footballers are behind the scenes, in the changing room, how they eat in the club cafeteria, how they behave moments before a big match. I want to see the exact same thing, but with astronauts.
You want to see what astronauts eat? Why?
I'm on my lunch break, okay?
But it's freeze-dried everything, and how do they train? Well, that's years of simulations and grueling physical tests. And how they behave? Well, I would imagine they behaved like highly trained professionals in a life-or-death environment.
Think about it, that would be blockbuster entertainment. To be honest with you, I can't believe it hasn't already been done.
You're shocked that NASA hasn't prioritised a reality TV show about astronauts? Okay. And I'm sensing a slight overestimation of the public's appetite for watching people meticulously follow checklists in zero gravity. Data analysis isn't exactly action-packed, is it?
If space was real, all they'd have to do is hook up cameras both in the space station on the ground and the one floating up in the air, put cameras in all the astronauts' helmets, stick a load of cameras in the rockets, and then film for a year.
Right, because adding a ton of extra equipment, even more potential points of failure, and a massive data streaming headache to a multi-billion-dollar space mission is totally worth it for a reality TV show.
Meet the astronauts.
Are you taking a piss?
If they did this and it was real, we would see things that would be impossible to fake.
But we already have mountains of evidence that are impossible to fake. Decades of research, countless observations and verifiable data. You're just choosing to ignore it. The point of space missions isn't to prove they're real to skeptics, it's to gather data, conduct research and expand our understanding of the universe. Your entertainment is as irrelevant as your lack of belief in space. And if you do happen to see this video, if space is fake, Where are we then?
And if they're not faking it, then there's no reason why they couldn't do it. Because at the moment, all we see is this. Astronauts talking to us in scenes like this. With hairspray and harnesses and wires and mess everywhere.
Right, because if they're not faking a global conspiracy involving thousands of scientists and engineers, then a year-long reality show is a breeze for them. Your logic is, well, it's something. They're already sharing a significant amount of footage and data with us. You're demanding a level of access that's impractical, intrusive, very dangerous, and ultimately unnecessary to prove what's already proven.
Surely, if they were actually in space, things would be a little bit neater.
You're talking about the wires again. That's a highly complex, constantly evolving piece of technology, not a minimalist apartment.
And don't call me Shirley.
Every wire has a purpose, and neat doesn't always equal functional in that environment. Those messy wires are meticulously organised for accessibility and maintenance. Not interior design. It's a working lab, not a showroom.
Almost as if they've gone, how can we make this scene a little bit more spaceship? I know.
Do you though? Actually, it's the opposite of what you said. They didn't try to make it look like a spaceship from a movie. They prioritised function and safety. The visible wires are a sign of authenticity, not a set design choice.
Wires. Wires everywhere. I mean, a basic electrician course would tell you to sort those fucking wires out. But for some reason, in space, it's all okay.
The engineers that design and maintain the ISS have a little bit more than a basic electrician's course under their belts. They're dealing with constraints and challenges you're not even considering. A basic electrician's course deals with buildings here on Earth with gravity and readily accessible wiring. The ISS is a slightly different environment, so different rules apply.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everything they show us can be faked, and this causes people to question the authenticity.
So your argument is, it looks fake to me, therefore it's fake. That's not skepticism, that's willful ignorance masquerading as critical thinking. Just because something looks unusual to you, it doesn't mean it's fake. Lack of understanding often leads to doubt, but that doesn't invalidate the science.
And so an unprecedented behind-the-scenes fly-on-the-wall style documentary filmed over the course of a year would make it extremely difficult to fake.
It would make it difficult to fake for you, but the vast existing body of evidence already makes it extremely difficult to fake for anyone with a basic understanding of science. Your demand doesn't change reality. So until NASA creates a year-long high-definition show tailored to your specific demands, space remains fake. Did you watch your video back before you hit publish?
You would see the real emotion of a person living in space. You would be able to feel what they were going through. You would be able to see what they see on a daily basis. And you would be able to tell whether or not it was real. Because this stuff just isn't real, ladies and gentlemen. It just isn't real.
Then what's the point in making the request that you're making? Because you've already decided that all footage from NASA is fake. So why would this new footage you're demanding be any different? Unless you're hoping that it'll be a bit like Love Island and the female astronauts will all be running around in bikinis. I don't think that's how it'll work, pal.
You think it's a little bit weird that we have shows like Big Brother, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and the All or Nothing sports documentaries?
Oh yeah, it's deeply suspicious that NASA hasn't prioritised creating a real Astronauts of the ISS series. We do have documentaries and footage from space, just not in the exploitative, manufactured drama format of reality TV. The focus is on the science. You should try it.
And yet, we have people flying back and forth to the space station, floating in the darkness above, and yet, all we get is this, and this, and this. Netflix, are you watching? Give NASA a bell and get it done.
Well, looking at your channel and basing it on the fact that you only have 15 videos and 72 subscribers, I'm gonna say no, Netflix probably aren't watching. And I will repeat myself once again, what is the point in any of this? Because you have consistently said throughout your video that you do not believe any of the footage that NASA has out there in the world now.
This documentary series gives you the opportunity to silence us fake spacers for once and for all.
Yeah, but for NASA to want to silence you, they'd need to know about you first, and I can't even think of an example of something that they would care less about.
However, imagine they did film an unprecedented behind-the-scenes fly-on-the-wall style documentary and they faked it.
I know, but you don't need to worry about that because you already think every piece of footage NASA has ever released is fake, so why break the habit of a lifetime?
I can see it now. It would be like Friends in space and laughter and shit. And to be honest, as long as the actors were good, I mean really good, not like this lot, then they could potentially make it semi-believable.
Ah, right, I think I can see one of your problems. They were astronauts. They're not actors, they're just real people who do a really dangerous and mind-blowingly interesting job.
The technology is there, I mean look at the movies today, but the authenticity would be difficult to fake.
Exactly, so how can you possibly sit there and claim that it is fake?
And I think this is the reason they haven't given us full access to astronauts before, because surely if it was real, that would be the obvious thing to do. Us peasants can't afford to go to space, NASA, so do the right thing. Spend some money from your ridiculous budget.
I don't know what it is, but it always really bugs me when a British person complains about how NASA spend their budget. What the hell has it got to do with anybody who doesn't live in America? And besides that, NASA's budget, if you imagine that the entire US budget for 2025 was $1, well, NASA gets half of 1 penny of that dollar as their annual budget. So you may want to rethink what you just said. Or do a bit of reading, one or the other.
I am not paranoid, and I make videos about things I am paranoid about.
Then in that case, your entire channel makes about as much sense as this video did.
Big up yourself.
Okay, so today it's gonna be globe versus flat. We have Will Duffy defending reality, while Nathan Thompson claims that the final experiment, designed to disprove a flat Earth, somehow proved it. So strap on, strap in, because we're about to find out if logic or a very creative interpretation of physics wins the debate. So let's go.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
Before we get going, let's pay some bills. Do you suffer from breakfast regret? Have you ever taken a bite of your morning meal and thought, this isn't fueling my champion spirit at all? You'll suffer no more, because this is the ultimate breakfast upgrade. Magic Spoon is packed with 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving.
Magic Spoon!
With no added sugar. And only 4 to 5 grams of net carbs.
Magic Spoon!
That means no sugar crashes, no empty calories, just pure, powerful, delicious fuel to start your day right.
Magic Spoon!
Do you feel that? That's the taste of victory. And if you need something quicker, Magic Spoon has you covered with Magic Spoon Treat. Crispy, crunchy, and packed with 11 to 12 grams of protein, just 1 gram of sugar, and just 1 to 2 grams of net carbs.
Magic Spoon!
This is the snack of champions. So what are you waiting for? Head over to magicspoon.com/creaky to get $5 off your first order. Because champions don't settle, and neither should you.
Hey Nathan, I know you're personal friends with Jaron and Robbie, and I really don't think you should do this to them right now. Were they true flat earthers? Because they're not anymore.
Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Yes, Nathan, your mate Jaron. He saw the final experiment firsthand. He's seen the light, or rather the curvature. Are you now gonna do what most other flat earthers have done so far and disown him? Or claim that he was never really a flat earther?
I don't care what some dude thinks about the shape of the Earth.
I love flat earth logic. Well, if you don't care, Nathan, why are you debating it?
Nathan,
For your globe relation, bro.
Nathan,
Like,
you
we're here to
made a
debate.
false statement. You said once you go flat, you never globe back. That's false. Your own friends, Jaron and Robbie, are no longer flat. Will you please correct your false statement right now?
Nathan, a quick follow-up to your catchy yet very inaccurate slogan, because Jaron seems to have done a complete 180, so maybe you could amend your statement at the very least. Perhaps once you go flat, you might eventually realize that basic geometry exists.
All right. So are we going to move on to the evidence that the Earth's a globe or not?
Well, there doesn't seem to be much point, does there? Because you said yourself that you don't care what other people's opinions are about the shape of the Earth.
I don't care what some dude thinks about the shape of the Earth.
Hey,
Do you have
Nathan, that's not what this debate is.
an off topic? We're not here to talk about what people think the Earth is. I
Okay,
don't
so
care.
you won't even correct your mistake. That's really sad. Okay, so Nathan, let's start with an easy one. Were you aware that while we were in Antarctica, we live streamed?
Yes, I was aware there were live streams being done.
How did we live stream from Antarctica on a flat Earth? Please explain that on a flat Earth.
So you can only live stream on a globe?
Well, technically speaking, Nathan, yeah, we can only live stream on a globe because it's a globe we live on. But I don't think that's what Will is getting at. I think he's making reference to the fact that they use Starlink, which relies 100% on satellites. So how could you live stream on a flat Earth? Especially when you consider that most of you think satellites are fake.
This is part of the final experiment. How did we live stream in Antarctica? Please answer.
Okay, live streaming from Antarctica wasn't one of your 6 arguments. You talked about a 24-hour sun, a 24-hour moon, a celestial south pole, airplane flights in the south. If you want to stick with your arguments, I can talk about how those are affirming the consequent fallacies and red herring fallacies. But how you live stream from Antarctica the same way I'm live streaming right now. We have internet. It's 2025, bud.
So you think it's just like the regular internet, like we're all using now in 2025? But that live stream was beamed down from satellites, orbiting a globe. So are you suggesting Starlink, a system fundamentally reliant on a spherical Earth, is somehow secretly compatible with a flat disk floating in space?
How did we get internet in Antarctica, Nathan?
The same way I'm getting internet right now on a flat Earth, bro.
How?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
How did we have internet in Antarctica?
So James, he's asked the question like 5 times. I wasn't there. I don't know how he got internet in Antarctica. That wasn't one of his 6 claims for...
Hold on a second, and this could just be me, but I didn't realize that the moderator in a debate was there to bail you out if you don't want to answer a question you've been asked. You really are a big baby, Nathan, aren't you?
I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm such a crybaby.
Okay, so Nathan, you know that the flat Earth position is that internet comes through undersea cables. Is that your position?
No, definitely not. It comes through a multitude of ways. It's a collective ensemble of things going on. You've got undersea fiber optic submarine communication cables. You've got towers. They normally put them on mountains, and the microwave towers have a Fresnel zone. And that Fresnel zone has to account for obstruction like trees and buildings. But one of the most famous videos I had on my old YouTube channel before it was erased by your government overlords was a microwave engineer talking about how he doesn't account for curvature, sending microwave signals over long distances. So,
okay, so we were at 80 degrees south, so there's no undersea cables, and there were no towers. There's no cell service in Antarctica. So, do you have any idea how we could have got internet?
Yeah, they might have bounced it off the dome, bro. I don't know. I wasn't there. Is that all you got?
Did he really just say, is that all you've got? After proposing that they got internet in Antarctica by bouncing the signal off a dome.
Oh, the irony!
Okay, Nathan, let's unpack this bouncing off the dome idea. First, signal towers in Antarctica, where there are virtually no permanent widespread cell towers. Secondly, even if there were, bouncing a signal off a hypothetical non-existent dome wouldn't give you a reliable high bandwidth connection for a live stream. That's not how radio waves work. That's not how any of this works. Just say you've got no idea, Nathan.
Okay, so that's the easy one. Now we'll get to the hard stuff. There is a South Pole. I'm sure you've seen people take a picture at the South Pole, right?
I haven't been there. Have you been there?
He didn't ask you if you'd been there. He asked you if you were aware of it. Why are you deflecting this early into Will's statement?
Have you seen people take a picture at the South Pole, Nathan?
I haven't been there.
Have you seen people take a picture of themselves standing at the South Pole, yes or no?
Going to an icy wasteland and calling a place the South Pole and then taking a picture there doesn't prove you're on a cartoon spinning tilted ball, Will.
Well, it kind of does, Nathan, because in reality, the South Pole is a very specific place on the globe, whereas on a flat Earth map, it's just a big icy ring around the outside. And there's nothing worse than an icy ring. I found that out when I sat on a snowy wall once.
Nathan, I need you to do me a favor.
Bro. This is too easy. Let's go. Chop, chop. Next one.
I need you.
What do you mean, chop, chop, next one? You haven't answered the first one yet. You're just... All you've done is... You haven't answered the first one yet.
I need you to do me a favor. I need you to tell me where on a flat Earth the South Pole is, where they're taking their picture with that pole. Where is it on here?
Okay, see, what you do is you just go to a spot on the flat Earth that's a deserted, icy wasteland, and then you call it the South Pole, and then you get gullible globers to go there and take a picture in front of the sign that says, "This is your globular South Pole," and then you pretend that that's how it works on a globe.
I'd forgotten how bad Nathan Thompson is at debating. You could just as easily have saved all that waffle and said, "I can't, Will, because you can."
Okay, so Nathan, that pole that they're taking a picture with, where is that on this map?
I don't know. I haven't been there.
You have no idea where it is.
No, I don't know. I haven't been there.
I feel the need to double check something with you lot watching this now. Now, a debate is meant to be two people with opposing positions arguing which one of them is right and which one is wrong. Isn't that what a debate is meant to be? Because so far, the two questions that Will has put to Nathan, he's just said he doesn't know.
Okay, so I'm afraid you're not very well researched then, because the South Pole and Antarctica is one of the main differences between flat Earth and globe, and you have no idea. So if you wanted to get to the South Pole, you have no idea how you'd get there?
No, I've never been there. So did you go there?
I've not been there either.
You haven't been there. I haven't been there.
But guess what, Nathan? Guess what, Nathan? We're not going to say that a place doesn't exist if we haven't been there, right? Have you been to the Dome?
No, I haven't been to the Dome.
Okay, perfect. So don't use an argument with me that you wouldn't use for yourself, okay? There is a pole, Nathan, that people can go to. Guess what? They fly there and they take their picture with it. I want to know where that is on a flat Earth. Can you reconcile a South Pole with a flat Earth, yes or no?
And while we wait for Nathan to decide what his answer's gonna be, I think I can help. Because I think I can point south on a flat Earth. It would look something like this. Whoa.
Yes, I just detailed how you go to a specific icy wasteland, you put up a sign for gullible globers that says, "This is your globular South Pole that you're upside down on," and then you take a picture because you're a gullible glober and you think that proves the shape of the floor. That doesn't prove the shape of the floor. Well, you're gonna need better proofs than this, bro. No one's buying this, bro.
Right, Nathan. So the actual South Pole, a meticulously documented location with decades of scientific research, verifiable coordinates, and consistent observations, is just a random icy wasteland. So I suppose the penguins are all paid actors and the 24-hour sunlight in summer is just a really elaborate light show.
Hey, Nathan, you're off topic again. I'm not here to prove the globe. We're here to see if the final experiment, observations, and experiments work on a flat Earth, and you're not showing how they work.
You didn't know much about Nathan Thompson beforehand, Will, do you? I think you may have set your expectations a little bit too high.
So,
You didn't even go to the South Pole.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan, we had someone at the South Pole, and you have no idea where that is.
Yeah,
And
it's an icy wasteland. They put up a sign that says,
Nathan, stop acting like a spoilt child. What are you going to do next? Call him a smelly poo-poo head?
okay, so Nathan, guess what? There is a station there. It's called the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. It's massive.
you say so. Without ever being there, that's cool.
So is that all you're going to do throughout this entire debate? Say that because you haven't seen it, it can't be true? Well, what about all the people who have seen it, Nathan? Are they all just liars as well?
All right, next we're going to talk about the South Celestial Pole. Are you familiar with what a celestial pole is?
Yeah, are you familiar with what a red herring is?
Again, you could have just said no, Nathan, instead of making yourself look like a dick. The South Celestial Pole is the point in the southern hemisphere sky directly above the Earth's south pole. Imagine extending the Earth's axis of rotation infinitely southward into space. The point where that line intersects with the celestial sphere is the southern celestial pole.
Okay, so if you're familiar with what a celestial pole is, can you please explain how there's a south celestial pole on a flat Earth where the stars go in the opposite direction than they do in the north?
Yeah, no problem. James, can I get the big screen, please?
Uh-oh, look out. I think we're about to see one of Nathan Thompson's famous flat earthograms.
If you go to Google and you type in red herring fallacy, a red herring fallacy is a logical fallacy that occurs when someone distracts from the main topic of the argument by introducing an irrelevant topic.
Are you taking a piss?
Like you're doing now, you mean? Will asked you to demonstrate how a celestial south pole would be applied to a flat Earth.
You need to tell me what the topic of the debate is before you can establish that I'm going off topic. What is the topic?
You're talking about, the topic is, did the final experiment end flat Earth, which has to do with the ground, and you're talking about a celestial South Pole.
So nothing to do with red herrings or fallacies then? So why are you reading out the definition of a red herring fallacy?
Part of the final experiment was documenting the South Celestial Pole. The South Celestial Pole is not possible on a flat Earth. Your job is to show how it is. Can you do it, yes or no?
Yeah, what'd you document? Let's see it.
You haven't seen the videos that we have of the South Celestial Pole?
No, I haven't seen them. You haven't shown anything either, bro. Are you going to show anything?
Sure. Will it change your mind?
Yeah, well, it depends on what I see.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Take your time.
A few moments later.
There you go, South Celestial Pole. Those stars are rotating in the opposite direction of the north.
You took that in Antarctica?
Robert Schwartz did.
Okay, cool. No problem. Thanks for showing me. Now I'd forget. Can I get the big screen again? Am I still in it?
Can you reconcile the South Celestial Pole with a flat Earth, yes or no?
No.
A logical fallacy that occurs when someone distracts from the main topic of an argument by introducing an irrelevant topic. Now, the stars have nothing to do with the shape of the floor.
Then you should have no problem explaining how it works on a flat Earth, which is all Will is asking you to do. But you were creating a red herring fallacy by reading out the definition of a red herring fallacy.
The movement of everything in the sky for 1,400 years and was unchanged for 1,400 years. Now I'd like to stop sharing my screen and show you my watch. It's the Prague clock.
Okay, I understand you want to shift the conversation to your watch. So what makes it a prog watch? What is a prog watch? Is it something to do with progressive rock? Does it have some unusual timekeeping mechanism? I'm curious. Hang on a second. No, sorry, Nathan. We can't talk about your watch because that would be another red herring fallacy. And you don't like those? Or does that only apply to Will and the globe side of this debate?
Next.
So Nathan, you should have done a little bit better homework. I even told you the topics that I was going to be covering, so you could have researched it, you could have watched our videos. But you are not explaining how the South Celestial Pole can exist on a flat Earth. We observed it. It's a natural phenomenon, so we know it exists. So the real question is, can you reconcile what we observed with our own eyes, what we filmed, with a flat Earth, yes or no?
This time I'm just going to go ahead and answer for him. No, Will. No, he can't.
Yeah, I got this flat Earth dome I picked up from Joe Hanby, and we can actually show star trails in the north and star trails in the south, and 24-hour moons in the south, and 24-hour suns in the south, and rainbows, and halos, and sundogs, and eclipses, and just about everything you see in the sky can be modeled right here, or at least shown a physical representation of. So
I've made videos about Joe Hanby and his model, and I can promise you, Nathan, it does none of those things. And why would it be valid anyway? Because you lot say that our model, which is a desktop globe, isn't valid, so why is Joe Hanby's stupid model suddenly the be-all and end-all of flat Earth for a lot of you?
Hey, Nathan, I'm very familiar with Joe Hanby's model. I actually offered him to demonstrate it on our channel, which he declined. And I've refuted his model. So when it comes to his model and the celestial poles, his south celestial pole is a reflection of the north celestial pole. But in reality, there are different stars and different constellations in the south versus the north.
Yeah, but flat earthers don't concern themselves with reality. Well, so why would Nathan Thompson be any different to the rest of them?
So it cannot be a reflection of the north. So that doesn't work. Do you have any other way of reconciling it or no?
I didn't say it's a reflection. I don't think it's a reflection. And when we project it on the top of the dome, it's not a reflection. So,
well, of course it's not if you're projecting it onto a small-scale model of something that's nothing more than fantasy.
Yeah, the 24-hour sun and moon can be modeled right here with the dome.
This was, you had one job, Nathan. Joe Hanby's model is that it's a reflection. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying the 24-hour moon in Antarctica is a reflection of a moon somewhere else?
No, you should go watch this video.
Because remember, Joe Hanby's model uses a flashlight. The moon is not like the sun. So that his model doesn't work for the moon. So can you reconcile a 24-hour moon in Antarctica on a flat Earth?
What the sky does and what's happening in the sky does not determine the shape of the floor. It's another red herring talking about the sky and pretending you ended flat Earth.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
It's now been over 3 years since I have believed that the Earth is flat. And like everyone else, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke.
Well, the good news is it's still a joke, and the bad news is you're 3 years into not getting it. So you initially thought the idea of flat Earth was ridiculous, and then you decided to embrace the ridiculousness? Did a clown college offer you a scholarship or something?
Yes, I definitely believe the Earth is flat.
I thought he was going to say yes, a clown college did offer him a scholarship.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
The first reason is very simple. There has never been one scientific test or experiment that has proved that the Earth moves.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
They've tried. People have done various experiments and have tried to prove that the Earth moves, but they can't.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
In fact, my recollection is that Einstein came up with his theory of relativity because he couldn't prove that it was the Earth that was moving.
Saying Einstein invented relativity because he couldn't prove that the Earth is moving is like saying Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa because he couldn't figure out how to paint by numbers. Relativity is about the relationship between space, time, gravity, and the speed of light. It's not some consolation prize for failing basic astronomy. Not exactly off to the best start, are you? But these are his reasons for being a flat earther, so why am I shocked?
Well, the second reason really is a very good reason, a very profound reason.
Ooh, I'm on the edge of my seat. A profound reason for believing the Earth is flat. I bet it involves ancient aliens, secret societies, and misrepresenting the word perspective, doesn't it?
It's unbelievable that people believe this. But here's the first one. And everybody knows this. The first movement that people know about is that the Earth supposedly spins on its axis eastward a full rotation every day, and that's how we get day and night.
The Earth rotating on its axis and causing day and night is not a claim. It's a fundamental observation understood for centuries. Or did you think the sun was just doing laps around a giant magical space pizza? And as far as claims go, I've got one as well. I claim that this guy fell asleep in every science class he ever went to.
Okay? If that's true, then the Earth is spinning at the equator at the speed of 1,000 miles per hour.
1,000 miles per hour sounds scary fast until you remember basic physics, something this guy clearly hasn't. Yeah, it's rotating that fast, and yet strangely, we don't all get flung off into space. Almost like gravity is a thing. A powerful, well understood thing.
Earth moved around the sun, then the tilting of the Earth would change. The way that the sun supposedly hits the Earth would change and therefore give us the difference in our seasons.
Changing seasons, a mystery for the ages. Or, you know, a basic consequence of Earth's tilt. And it's understood by anyone who's ever looked at a diagram of the solar system. But yeah, okay, let's pretend it's a profound enigma. So if the tilt doesn't cause the seasons, what's your alternative explanation? Does the sun have like a summer and winter setting? You know, dials to turn it up and down?
And so in order for the Earth to go all the way around the sun within a year's time, the Earth would have to move at 67,000 miles per hour.
Okay, so another statement of fact framed to sound unbelievable. Yes, 67,000 miles per hour, but we're also travelling through the galaxy at about 490,000 miles per hour relative to the cosmic microwave background. It's almost like space is really, really big.
That's only 2 of the 4 movements of the Earth. The third, our solar system, the sun, the Earth, and the planets, Venus, Mars, etc., whirl around the center of our galaxy at 490,000 miles per hour.
Is this going to be another "that's faster than my car, therefore impossible" argument? Because so far all you've done is state facts.
So you've got these 3 movements going on, but that's not all. Scientists speculate that our galaxy is hurtling toward the great attractor. The great attractor. No, they will not believe in God, but there is a great attractor. And what is it? It's a region in space roughly 150 million light years away from us. 150 million light years away from us. And how fast is it going? 2,227,273 miles per hour.
Scientists don't believe in the Great Attractor in the same way as somebody believes in a god. They accept the evidence for it, which is a very different thing. The Great Attractor is a real thing, and yeah, galaxies are moving towards it at incredible speeds. But that's astrophysics. Whether individual scientists believe in God is a completely separate issue and has absolutely nothing at all to do with gravity or galactic motion.
And the Great Attractor is 150 million light years away from us. How far is that?
Well, it's 150 million light years, isn't it? It's so far that even light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes 150 million years to get there.
Well, a light year is 6 trillion miles.
Well, it's 5.878625 trillion miles, actually, but I'm not going to be accused of being pedantic, so 6 trillion is fine.
I agree as well, pedantic.
So, 150 million light years represents 9 times 10 to the 20th power miles away, which is 100 quintillion miles away.
Yep, that's a big number. In fact, it's so big, it's got its own special name. A really, really big number. Astronomers use light years precisely because miles get unwieldy at these distances. It would be like measuring the distance from New York to Tokyo in millimeters.
But we scientists know, there is a great attractor out there.
He mocks scientific knowledge while relying on technology built off scientific knowledge to broadcast his ignorance. The irony is thicker than his skull.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
Scientists know because they use things like evidence and observations. It's a wild concept, I know. Maybe try it sometime instead of just staring at your feet and declaring the earth is flat.
Well, that's my second reason why I believe that we live on a flat earth, because there's no way. There's no way that the earth is moving in 4 directions at speeds that boggle the mind.
But there is a way. It's called inertia. We don't feel the earth moving for the same reasons we don't feel ourselves moving at 500 miles per hour on a plane. You're moving with it. Everything around you is moving at the same speed, and speeds only boggle the mind if you don't grasp the sheer scale of the universe. But to be fair, most flat earthers' minds are completely boggled to begin with.
Speeds that we can't even comprehend.
But that's just you don't understand it, or you can't comprehend it, so it must be fake. That's just a long drawn out way of saying nah.
My third reason why I believe that we live on a flat earth is that there is a fixed order of the stars, the sun, and the moon. A fixed order.
But the sun and moon's fixed order is precisely because of Earth's rotation and orbit. The predictable paths are evidence for the heliocentric model, not against it. The stars appear fixed because they're incredibly far away.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
Their actual motion is measurable, but over very long time scales.
Fourth reason that I believe in a flat earth is that there is no Coriolis effect.
There is a Coriolis effect. It's why hurricanes rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. It also affects long-range artillery, weather patterns, and ocean currents.
So, for example, the Earth is supposedly moving to the east at about 1,000 miles per hour. And so if you have an airplane that's flying, and that airplane has to land on a runway that's running from south to north, and it's coming in from the south, the Coriolis effect would say that that airplane has to be moving a little bit to the east in order to just hit that runway right.
Where was it you graduated from again? The University of Duh.
That's a bit of a stretch even for a flat earther. The Coriolis effect is most significant over long distances and long time scales. It's crucial for understanding things like large-scale weather systems and ocean currents, which move over hundreds or more miles every hour of every day. The distances and times involved in a typical aircraft landing approach are far too small for the Coriolis effect to have a noticeable impact. A plane might be on its final approach for just a few miles and a few minutes.
Why is it called an airplane? Because it moves in the air over the plane.
So by that logic, are pineapples called pineapples because they grow on pine trees? Are butterflies called butterflies because they're made of butter? The word aeroplane comes from the Greek words air, meaning air, and planos, which means wandering. It has nothing to do with the shape of the earth.
Number 5. The fifth reason I believe in a flat earth is that airplanes, they fly level, right? If they were flying over a sphere, they would constantly have to be dipping their nose down in order to stay with the contour of the Earth.
Pilots don't need to constantly dip the nose because gravity is constantly pulling the plane towards the center of the Earth. That's what keeps the plane following the curve without any conscious effort from the pilot. And this is such a stupid flat Earth proof, I'm not even going to waste any more time on it. So, next.
Then the sixth reason I believe in a flat earth, and it's so simple. Use your mind, use your logic.
God damn it, are you with me?
Think logically, think like a human being. We are herded like sheep into pens these days because we listen to lies and liars, and we let them deceive us.
I know, but one day, with a little bit of luck, maybe we'll be able to get rid of flat earthers completely.
The sixth reason. There could be no independent wind currents on the Earth if the Earth were moving through space in 4 different directions.
The atmosphere isn't just sitting still while the Earth spins on orbit. It's attached to the Earth by gravity and moves with it. Wind currents are caused by differences in temperature and pressure within that moving atmosphere, not by Earth's movement through space.
The butterfly. How could that butterfly even get up in the air?
Well, flat earther butterflies can't, because remember, they're all made of butter and it's a sunny day. He's already started melting. He's not flying anywhere. When a butterfly beats its wings, it's just strong enough to break free of gravity's grip.
You know, they always say gravity's the answer to everything. How does that butterfly defy gravity?
It doesn't. It overcomes it by beating its wings. Or is it flapping? The butterflies beat or flap?
My 8th reason. There is no observable curvature over either water or land.
The Earth is enormous. The curvature is subtle over short distances. You can't really see it with the naked eye from ground level because your line of sight is limited. But you could always watch ships disappear hull first over the horizon. Just go outside and check. You'll see that it's true. You know how you flat earthers like to zoom in on ships you can't see with the naked eye and then zoom back out and claim that that debunks curvature? Well, instead, stay zoomed in until the ship completely disappears from view, then explain where it went.
Well, we're waiting.
Now, the 9th reason is using logic based upon
circular reasoning. Yeah, we get it, pal, and I don't know if you noticed it yourself, but you missed out number 7.
These things that we see in nature. Logic says this. First of all, the logical proposition, and I did a whole video on this, you could look it up and find it if you want to, but logically, there is this. If the Earth is a sphere, then there is curvature on the Earth. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah, that the Earth is not flat. So if the Earth is flat, why can't we see infinitely far with a powerful enough telescope? What's blocking the view? A giant wall of ice?
Now there is a logical theorem, logical truth. I have completed entire courses in logic, by the way.
Well, I hope you didn't pay for them.
The contrapositive statement. The contrapositive is this. If there is no curvature, then the Earth is not a sphere.
The logic is sound, kind of, but the premise is wrong. There is curvature. We've measured it. We've seen it. We've got photographs of it from space. Your argument falls apart because it's based on a false assumption.
So you know that it's a logically true statement to say that if the Earth is a sphere, then there is curvature. That is logically true.
Hang on a second now, my wife always tells me I don't pay attention when somebody's speaking to me, but I'm starting to doubt that this guy's even a flat earther because everything he's saying suggests that he knows the Earth isn't flat. But he started his video by saying he was going to give us 10 reasons why he's a flat earther. What's going on?
But anyway, the 10th reason. All scripture references.
No, looks like we're missing number 10 out because the Bible is not now, nor was it ever, a scientific textbook. The Bible proves nothing. And if that's what you think is your best proof, then you needn't have bothered with the other 9. No, actually the other 8 because you missed out 7. Thank you all so much for watching and I will see you again on Monday. Love you. Bye. A woman asks her husband, if I died in a foreign city, say maybe Jerusalem, and it would cost $30,000 to have my body returned home, or $500 to have me buried right there. What would you do? So he thought about it for a while and then he said, well, I would pay to have your body returned home because about 2,000 years ago, a man died and was buried in Jerusalem and then 3 days later he came back and I'm not taking that risk with you.
You f***ing prat.